Hello and welcome once again, wherever you may be on this planet. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas and enjoying this beautiful English folk song. There is barely anything more beautiful than the sound of the traditional folk songs, if only we had more faith in them. And today I've got several extracts about vibrations and also the Tritocosmos. I have some maxims from the tradition of Zen. Let's begin with Gurdjieff's description of the 7 cosmoses in the great ray of our universe. 7 cosmoses, taken together in their relation to one another, alone represent a complete picture of the universe. The first, the protocosmos, is the absolute in the ray of creation, or world 1. The aeocosmos is world 3, all worlds in the ray of creation. The macrocosmos is our starry world, or the Milky Way, world 6. The deuterocosmos is the Sun, the solar system. The mesocosmos is all the planets, or the Earth as the representative of the planetary world. The tritocosmos is man, the microcosmos is the atom. Now, particularly Ouspensky did not resonate with the idea of man as a tritocosmos. He saw man as the microcosmos and later developed theories on that basis, but Gurdjieff was quite clear. He says, "It is difficult to explain at present, you will understand later. Man is the tritocosmos. The microcosmos is the atom, or rather, the microbe. The microbe is a microscopic organism, either a single cell or a small group of cells." So where does the confusion come for Ouspensky? Well, I believe it is answered later in that the Earth and man are not complete. At this point in time, man does not have a direct vertical relationship with the world above him and the world below. Modern man has expanded horizontally into what we call society. Gurdjieff's tritocosmos refers to our destination, our final form that we should get to if our species succeeds. All the activities of the cosmos have the ability to expand horizontally as some kind of support or holding pattern before they can reconnect with the vertical line of evolution. And last week I was in the bathroom and a pot of cream flew out of my hand and smashed against the floor. And there was no way that happened by accident. And nobody is coming to save us, whether we understand the laws of the world individually or collectively. It's up to us. The wheels of the cosmos are not going to stop if mankind fails. It seems to me that the open end, the free energy that we can work with, is what we call negative emotions. Most people don't have negative emotions, they're just negative and completely stuck into it. Other people can observe their negativity as separate, stay in the present. Still further on from that, people undergo a certain kind of psychotherapy. But even further on from that is to recognize that this is actually an open channel of energy. It is as if it's calling to you, and if you could only draw the energy out from it, you would grow. And those kinds of opportunities are very rare, actually, because the world we live in has been sealed. Just like freshly cut metal oxidizes over, so it becomes deactive. Because it attracts activity, it is quickly sealed over, which both protects it but also prevents any living currents happening. But negative emotions are different. They are active. So I'll read out a longer section on the subject of vibrations. When speaking of vibrations, according to the usual views accepted in the West, vibrations are continuous. This means that vibrations are usually regarded as proceeding uninterruptedly, ascending or descending, so long as there continues to act the force of the original impulse, which caused the vibration and which overcomes the resistance of the medium in which the vibrations proceed. When the force of the impulse becomes exhausted and the resistance of the medium gains the upper hand, the vibrations naturally die down and stop. But until this moment is reached, that is, until the beginning of the natural weakening, the vibrations develop uniformly and gradually, and in the absence of resistance can even be endless. The view of ancient knowledge is opposed to that of contemporary science because at the base of the understanding of vibrations, ancient knowledge places the principle of the discontinuity of vibrations. This principle means the definite and necessary characteristic of all vibrations in nature, whether ascending or descending, to develop not uniformly, but with periodical accelerations and retardations. More precisely, if we say that the force of the original impulse does not act uniformly, but, as it were, becomes alternately stronger and weaker, the force of the impulse acts without changing its nature, and vibrations develop in a regular way only for a certain time, which is determined by the nature of the impulse, the medium, the conditions, and so forth. But at a certain moment, a kind of change takes place in it, and the vibrations, so to speak, cease to obey it, and for a short time they slow down, and to a certain extent change their nature or direction. For example, ascending vibrations at a certain moment begin to ascend more slowly, and descending vibrations begin to descend more slowly. After this temporary retardation, both in ascending and descending, the vibrations again enter the former channel, and for a certain time ascend or descend uniformly up to a certain moment, when a check in the development again takes place. It is significant that the periods of uniform action of the momentum are not equal, and that the moments of retardation are not symmetrical. The laws which govern the retardation or the deflection of vibrations from their primary direction were known to ancient science. These laws were duly incorporated into a particular formula or diagram which has been preserved up to our time. The period in which vibrations are doubled was divided into 8 unequal steps corresponding to the rate of increase in the vibrations. It's clear to me that when the energy in society is bad, people start to do bad things everywhere. And when the energy in society is better, when it is rising, then people automatically start to clean up the mess. For most people, they don't recognize this consciously, they just act, because they are actually controlled by the currents in society that they do not see and do not know. But their thinking, their feeling, their acting actually is drawn from that energy flowing along the surface of society. It is almost incomprehensible for a modern person to contemplate that if a large number of people went to church or another area of worship and actually prayed, in other words, they performed octaves with their emotional body, that this would actually change society. It would be very difficult for a modern person to agree to that without crossing their legs a lot. And what is occurring on the Earth, although it may be a paltry planet compared to many of the things in the universe, is certainly working at a much larger scale than a particular man. We have limited power to affect things. It is not the role of most people to be involved with these matters. And in the same way, in a tree, not all of the tree is growing. It is only the outer branches. Now, I have rose bushes from time to time. They shock me by sending out long shoots, sometimes almost a foot long, suddenly appear, because only the outer edge of that plant is growing. For the rest, for those in the interior, they are very much huddled together. They have no real access to the outside anyway, and they perform their part in the heart of that creature. I was remembering also this week about the sense of the middle way they have in Buddhism, which is which they have a story about. If I remember, the story is that if a monk is starving himself too much, being too ascetic, it will be bad for his meditation practice, and therefore try to balance gluttony and asceticism. And this balancing between one side and the other side is called the middle way. At least that's how they remember it. Now let's get back into the vibrations, this time in a more applied way. A man can win at roulette, but this would be an accident. Attaining an aim which one has set before oneself in life or in any particular sphere of human activity is just the same kind of accident. The only difference is that in regard to roulette, a man at least knows for certain whether he has lost or won on each separate occasion, that is, on each stake. But in the activities of his life, particularly with activities of the kind that many people are concerned in, and when years pass between the beginning of something and its result, a man can very easily deceive himself and take the result obtained as the result desired. That is, believe that he has won, when on the whole he has lost. The greatest insult for a man-machine is to tell him that he can do nothing, can attain nothing, that he can never move towards any aim whatever, and that in striving towards one he will inevitably create another. Actually, it cannot be otherwise. The man-machine is in the power of accident. His activities may fall by accident into some sort of channel which has been created by cosmic or mechanical forces, and they may by accident move along this channel for a certain time, giving the illusion that aims of some kind are being attained. Such accidental correspondence of results with the aims we have set before us, or the attachment of aims in small things which can have no consequences, create in mechanical man the conviction that he is able to attain any aim, or conquer nature. And in what way may a man learn to control his aim? The technical part of this is explained by the law of octaves. Octaves can develop consecutively and continuously in the desired direction if additional shocks enter them at the moments necessary, that is, at the moments when vibrations slow down. If additional shocks do not enter at the necessary moments, octaves change their direction. To entertain hopes of accidental shocks coming from somewhere by themselves at the moments necessary is of course out of the question. There remains for a man the choice either of finding a direction for his activities which corresponds to the mechanical line of events of a given moment, in other words, of going where the wind blows, or swimming with the stream, even if this contradicts his inclinations, convictions, and sympathies, or of reconciling himself to the failure of everything he starts out to do. Or he can learn to recognize the moments of the intervals in all lines of his activity and learn to create the additional shocks. There's more, but I'll stop there. There's a few important points. There is a sense earlier that a man's activities are actually creating a momentum pulse, a wave of energy, and he must continue to push that wave. And it is that wave that enters a channel. So there's a separation there between the activity and the pulse that is produced by it. That must be noticed. In general, after many years, I'm unconvinced that anybody can really use this theory. And that, in fact, the best way to use the theory is simply to learn how to do progressively more difficult things. Learning the seasons of activity. In other words, on Monday there's a question, on Tuesday there's a kind of struggle for an answer, on Wednesday there's the execution of the answer, on Thursday the expansion, on Friday many things are happening. And once the rhythm of the seasons becomes part of you, then everything that you touch flows like that. And you can help other people also close their circles and make things smooth. Small things, big things. Becoming a completer of cycles.
Yes, just tell him I'm perfect for this, so let's go. I am the best.
The best at what?
All of this, the cutting, the styling, the making it silky smooth.
I want to know who cuts your hair.
Oh, you like this, eh? This is the Avalon, straight from the Paul Mitchell book.
I will read out the maxims of Takamori Saigo, a student of Zen. He talks of two things. The first is heaven, the second is faith. To follow heaven means to sense the ray that flows down from heaven, and it flows through you and down into the earth. To know heaven means to know the entire ray, and to also know the earth. Faith is often understood in a passive sense. I will sit and I accept. But there is the faith of activity, that you were born well and that as you act, God acts through you. That is a dynamic understanding of things, which is Gurdjieff's understanding. One who wants neither life, nor name, nor rank, nor money is hardly to be controlled. It is only such indomitable men who can carry great affairs of state through adversities to completion. Do not have dealings with men. Make your dealings with heaven. In this way, confronting heaven, put forth your whole endeavour. Never lay blame on other men, but consider where your own sincerity falls short. In matters great and small, tread the way of righteousness. Apply complete sincerity, and never once use trickery. Many resort to it when they meet an obstacle, thinking that if just this one obstacle can be got round, they will be able to carry on somehow. but the disasters attendant on trickery inevitably arise and the project always fails. The path of righteousness may not seem the shortest at first, but one who treads it quickly achieves success. The way, being natural to the universe, man as a follower of the way should make it his purpose to revere heaven. Heaven loves others and myself in the same way, and with the heart which loves me, loves others also. One who follows the way meets difficulties in the course of things, but however grave the situation, he never cares at all for success and failure or whether he will live or die. People think these days that if only they have sufficient cleverness, things will turn out as they wish, but I find it most dangerous to trust the cleverness. Deceiving others and plotting in secret, even supposing it to succeed, is the depth of depravity in a wise man. Behave towards others with justice and sincerity. Without justice, one can never be a hero. After setting right a mistake, it is best just to think, this mistake was made by me. Then put the matter away and not turning back, pass on at once. To feel mortified over a mistake and worry about how to gloss it over is as useless as to try to mend a smashed teacup. The way is the natural way of the universe, and to learn it, one must revere heaven, love man, and live one's life from first to last in self-control. As a rule, men succeed by self-control and fail through self-love. Study the lives of the men of this and other ages. When a man sets about something, he generally completes 7 or 8/10 of it, but rarely completes the remaining 2/10. This is because at the beginning, a man fully restrains his egoitry and respects the work for itself. Results begin to come and his fame increases. But then egotism stirs, the prudent and restrained attitude is relaxed, pride and boasting flourish. In the confidence born of his achievements so far, he plans to complete the work for his own ends. But his efforts have become bungling and the end is failure, all invited by himself. Therefore, restrain the self and be careful not to heed what others do or say. What is admired by the world and posterity is simply one moment of complete sincerity. Even if it does happen that the world praises a man of no sincerity, it is praising a mere fluke. But where there is great sincerity, then even if none know that man in his own day, surely in after ages there will be those who know him.
say